Skyforge monetization is detailed. Nexon announces when Ghost in the Shell Online will be released. All that and more. I'm Zach Sharps, and this is Free to Play Weekly. You know how most games go into beta, then launch? Well, Paradox doesn't believe in that. This week they announced that their free-to-play Wizard vs. Wizard battler Magicka Wizard Wars will go from early access straight into full release on April 28th. Those of you looking forward to launch but want something to do in between then and now also have an April 14th patch to look forward to. This patch will add a new game mode called Soul Harvest, as well as a try before you buy mode, which lets you sample spells before purchasing them. Most importantly to budget-conscious gamers is the fully revamped in-game economy that will allow all items to be purchased for crowns, earnable via gameplay, or available for in-game purchases. So what are you waiting for? Dust off those wands and start pew-pewing the fireballs. You a fan of anime? Maybe Ghost in the Shell? Well, you'll be happy to know that several outlets this week have been reporting that Nexon will launch its long-awaited Ghost in the Shell Online later this year. The free-to-play first-person shooter will first launch in Korea as expected, then in the West including North and South America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. With the launch on the radar for this year, beta signups are expected to start later this spring. Also to note, on the official website, which is in Korean, has a date range of April 9th through the 12th that appears to correspond with a Korean beta testing period. My only gripe with this game is the company that will be bringing it to us. With their shaky history, it will certainly be interesting to see how well Ghost in the Shell Online fares in the West. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Last week on the show, we reported on a Skyforge forum debate regarding the Outlaws team's monetization of their highly anticipated free-to-play title. Things got a little bit heated in that forum thread. This week, however, the Outlaws team outlined their main ideas when it comes to monetization in hopes to clear up some confusion of how the current Russian build works. Their details included that all players in Skyforge should have fun and rewarding experiences regardless of their monetary investment into the game. Monetization must not affect a player's ability to access all activities, including high-end PvE and PvP content. Players must never be locked behind a paywall to progress. Players can invest money in Skyforge if they want to speed up their character's progress and get through content faster, but never at the cost of other players' experiences. And finally, players should not feel like they have to invest a nearly unlimited amount of time in the game to stay competitive. Later in their post about monetization in Skyforge, they laid out additional points about their philosophies, which include: no content is locked behind a cash purchase, the Argent currency is a cash currency, but you can buy Argent through the marketplace with credits, and a player can pay to progress faster, but not bypass the caps put in place on your order, your Ascension Atlas progression, and your weapon enhancements. And I feel as though this is great news for those anticipating Skyforge, but with the Outlaws team's history of absurd pay-to-win tactics, till I see the end result, I'll still be a tad worried of what's to come. Those of you still playing NCSoft's Lineage II got great news this week. The next expansion for the hit free-to-play title is coming April 22nd, entitled Infinite Odyssey. With the new expansion comes the removal of the game's level cap, which is supposed to, quote, take the PvP to a whole new dimension, end quote. With the progression comes new skills, which is expected, and as we reported a while back, some of those skills were named by the community in a contest, plus 2 new zones, a raid boss, and more will be added to the game. That in and of itself is quite a bit of content and a lot to look forward to, but what I'm more wondering is how you guys feel about level caps in MMOs as an entirety, which of course means it's time for the question of the week. Last week on the show, I asked, what is your ideal free-to-play model? A user by the name of Tabriki stated the following: Path of Exile. No amount of money can buy in-game power, but instead only stash tabs and purely cosmetic items. Sure, PoE's microtransactions are very expensive, around $100 for an electric scorpion follower, $9 to change the visual effect of one aura. $35 for a set of cosmetic armor skin overrides, etc., but it's necessary for grinding gear games to keep their fantastic game fresh with new content up and running. Thanks for your response, and as always, if you want your comment possibly featured in next week's episode, make sure to leave a comment down below. This week's question is, are you for or against level caps in MMOs, and why? Personally, I'm indifferent, mainly due to the fact that if there's not a level cap, there's always something that is going to progress your power, and it could be relatable to a level cap in the end. However, that's just my take, and I'm always interested in hearing what you guys are going to start in terms of a discussion down in the comments section below, so get a type in and I'll get a reading. For our last bit of news this week, after being delayed for a little bit, Cryptic Studios has now launched the latest update for their free-to-play MMORPG Neverwinter, titled Elemental Evil. Being that this is the game's largest patch to date, it features a new class called the Oathbound Paladin and raises the level cap for all classes to level 70. Noted by Cryptic was the following statement: "Our team is thrilled to revisit one of the most iconic storylines of Dungeons & Dragons with Neverwinter Elemental Evil. Aspiring to deliver our biggest expansion to date, our team at Cryptic is focused on introducing long-requested gameplay features as well as building more Dungeons & Dragons lore into the game. With PC players now able to jump in and play, those of you on Xbox One will have to wait until later this year to see the module's content." Well guys, that does it for the news this week, but as always, and at this point I kinda sound like a completely broken record that might need to check into an insane asylum. Hey, luckily there's one near me, right? But make sure to check out our giveaways page because of course there is always more. And you never really want to miss them because it's free stuff. Anyhow, signing off until next week's Free to Play Weekly, I'm your host Zach Sharps, and I will catch you guys next time.